Thank you, Trevor. I must agree with you, Trevor. The judge wasn't a little bit tough. To me, if you put a photo in, the judge might say something, don't ever throw it away because you can put it in again and you probably get a different result. So that's what I always encourage people. I'd love to say some words about David. He started with the Ballarat Camera Club in 1969. He was introduced by Miss Olive Ritchie from Aberdeen, who also became a very long-serving member of the Camera Club. When David joined, we had such people, and this is not too sure for David, but for a few others. Herb Richmond, Harold Cox, Harold Adair, Alan Harter were the ones that were the main black and white workers. So in these days, this is in the 1969 to probably in the 80s, that's as far as I'll go. In the old days, there's only really black and white prints and colour slides. So later on, we had Dr. Ian Channing, the Reverend Littler, Noel Linden was an early member, Rex Ryan, Almus and Charlie Pademas, Jim Thayer, and then we had the Maryborough Camera Club folded, and we had about 5 members who came over from Maryborough, and one that stopped for quite a number of years was Jack Hanna, a terrific fellow. But for the first 2 or 3 years that they were here, they won nearly everything in our annual competitions. Some other people, Roger Purcell, of course, and Ken Stott, Peter Kervrak, and we had a terrific lady, Marilyn Miller, who went on to do wonderful things in photography. And another one there would have been Ellen Smith. In the slides in the early days, we had Bon Strange, and there was an article written about her, a terrific article, and she was a member for 70 years, David, so got 20 more to go, David. My late mother-in-law, who introduced me to the camera world, was Stella Bedgegood, Mary Osborne, Belle Saunders and Olive Ritchie, and then later on we had Judy Johnson, Lorraine Harvey in that area as well. Remember some of those names, David? David was extremely busy in the 1970s. He was our club president in 71 to 73, and also in the 80s. But also in the 70s, he was secretary 75 to 77. And also for 14 years, starting in 1971, he was the exhibition secretary. So the 70s was quite a busy time for David Grigg. He was made a life member, probably one of the highlights of his time at the Camera Club. He got quite a surprise that night. Had a dinner at the SMB and we announced that he was a life member. David's won a number of awards for his work, LAPS, VAPPS, and probably the most recent one, the important one, is AAPS in 2002. Now, some really interesting facts and figures that David was an extremely good photographer, and he won the most successful exhibitor in our Ballarat National in 1994 and 97. And that's pretty hard to do. In 1994 we had 1 first, he had a merit and 10 acceptances, and then followed up in 97 with 2 seconds and 12 acceptances. So that's, you know, if you get 3 or 4 acceptances in an exhibition, you're doing very well. I think you've been judged 3 times at Ballarat, 1986, 88 and 201. Could be 1 or 2 others. But at the time we used to visit a whole lot of different camera clubs, and Alan Hart, our very good friend and one of the best photographers I've seen, he was a member also of Castlemaine, so we were regular visitors to Castlemaine. But I do remember David one night, the big red jumped out in front of the car and nearly wrote David's car off. So we were very fortunate that we were near the Eagreys at Sandown, and Mrs. Eagry took us in, and then Alan Harter brought us home, but the car was quite a mess, wasn't it? David won quite a number of club awards, the Herb Richmond Award 6 times for the best print, and also the Kodak Trophy 3 times. We used to go out on quite a few excursions, and David would be a bus driver. Went around Ballarat for the Ballarat Brewing Company and photographed all the hotels at Ballarat. We did excursions to the Grampians using the SMB little minibus. And we had great times in interclubs. Hopefully they're still happening, but we had a great time down at Geelong. Ken McEwen was a great fellow who'd organised everything. Different dark rooms. We worked at Brace where we did a whole lot of photos for, I'm not sure, David, who that was for, that's something you organised, but we copied a whole lot of old Ballarat photos, which was very good. We started to do some colour printing, and that was at Norm Harvey's. Was Lorraine not here? It was at Lorraine Harvey's father-in-law's place, remember that? And the old woodshed. It was pretty primitive. But then we were meeting at SMB for around 10 years, and we were able to use their dark room, and we used the dark room to do black and white photography and also Cedrochrome. We got a lot of good photos, and hopefully David might have some there tonight. Because 2 years running, and the big test of the Camera Club is the VAPS, of course, and 2 years running we won the top slides and the top prints at VAPS. And VAPS really grew over that time through the 70s. It was only started with 11 clubs, and at the time that we won those awards, there were 94 clubs in VAPS, so I don't know how that's going now. Another thing we used to do was we had before the start of each Camera Club year, we always had a get-together and a barbecue at David and Vera's. We always had a great time down there. We did that for many years. Probably one of the real highlights is the Ballarat National, and David just mentioned a few names. Some of these people would come and be our guest speakers, but we also approached them to be judges with our national. John Milney, Ian Cust, Pelly Gadry, Peter Hunter, Mike Spillane, Ken McEwen, David Oldfield, and Tuck Long. They're just a few, but we had fantastic judges, and we really appreciated what they did. Now I must say that David had a camera in his hand at a very young age. He was only 15 when he had his first camera, and it cost him £3, 12 shillings and 6 pence.
Still got it.
That he still got. Well, he used that camera for over 10 years before he upgraded. So I think that's about all. I do have a couple of photos here of you, David. Probably photographers never get to have photos of themselves, and I've got a few here to give to you, David. But the first one's a very interesting one. The Melbourne Camera Club came up on a train, and I think you were in the front there, David. Anyhow, they came out, and that was a time when there's a train going out to Lello, and this is a photo of the group out at Lello. Then I have a look on the back, David. You're not there at all, because this was dated 1888.
No, not quite.
Not quite. Now we are later on in times as a judge for the National, and you've got a beard there. Did you have a beard for long? I don't know. And there we are down at Geelong. We used to have a lot of fun at Geelong, and there's a photo down there at Geelong which you can have also. Okay, that's about it. And I just want to congratulate David for 50 years of being a member of the club. He was a fellow that we always looked up to. I know when I was doing black and white, he'd always tell me, make sure your negatives are right, you know, because when you print, you've got to have the right tones. You've got to have black and white, and you've got to have the tones in between. I've never forgotten that. So well done, David. It's great to be here tonight. Thank you.